Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for some more STPL Season 2 action. This series is going to be Eternal Friends versus Net Wars. In terms of walkovers, this series only has one and it's at the very end, so no need to worry about that just yet. We'll be heading through the games at a normal pace. You know how things go here. Most people here have been watching for a while, so you know what I'm like. Naz did just win their previous series 3-1. We'll show the change in standings at the end of everything. But let's have a look at the matchup. Thinkfin asks, how long of a gap do we have to expect between the seasons? It won't be long, and also I'm going to be doing other stuff in between, so there'll still be stuff to watch. It'll just be like more side events and stuff like that rather than the main season. I know we haven't even finished season 2, and we're not, well, we are close, but I actually I started thinking about a lot of the season 3 stuff yesterday, and I couldn't sleep because of it, because I was trying to work out how I was going to do certain things, and I was like, god damn it. But either way, the matchup here for our second set is going to be Eternal Friends versus Net Wars. Total wins, Eternal Friends have only been here for season 2. They've won 6 of their 11 series. Net Wars in Season 2 have won 5 of their 11 series, so this is a pretty important match when it comes to the tournament rankings, because if Net Wars can win here, they will knock Eternal Friends down a peg and they will tie themselves up 6 for 6, and that could make a big difference to the playoff spots. And that should be kind of cool. Now, Terrans, especially, I mean, when I say Terrans, I mean Kogut. Kogut's doing really well for Net Wars. Net Wars don't really have too many. They've got like Wolfix, they had Radley in Season 1. But I think other than that, it's just Kogut's wins, which is kind of crazy. One of the things I just want to point out, given the fact we are going to see him here, Kogut is ranked 3 overall. And look at these players he's up against. It's crazy. And once again to point out, there's actually 6 non-Koreans in the top 10 of ELO. There's only 4 Koreans, Scan, Noob, Spire, and FamSE, so that's really impressive. And people said the other day that it's because they've played less games, but that's not true. Some of the White Clan Koreans have played pretty much every single week, FamSE included, but he's just a really good player. But let's have a look at today's rosters here. For Eternal Friends and for Net Wars, we're going to start off with a Peruvian versus a Polish player in Goku versus Yeti. Yeti, one of the only players to take a 45-minute macro game off of ASL qualified Biol. I'll bring that up a little bit later, most likely. Chaylin versus Zero, going to be a South Korean versus Poland again. Pigbrush, South Korean versus Kogut, Poland. Blaze, South Korean versus Vingzil was a walkover, so we won't talk about that game, but the first 3 games should be exciting. Goku versus Yeti should be fun. I think I give Yeti the edge, but Goku is definitely a pretty good player. Zero against Chaylin, it's a ZVZ, so I honestly have no idea. I'd like to give the edge towards Chaylin, but Zero definitely could pull something out of the bag. This is Mr. Bombastic himself, of course. And Pinkbrush against Kogut, that could also go either way, because Pinkbrush's TBT is pretty good. Kogut's TBT is incredible, so I don't know how to call that one, and it's going to be on New Tornado as well. And we've had some really long TBTs there, so I'm looking forward to that map especially. Let's have a look at map number 1. It's going to be Desperado. The main features you need to worry about on this map are the... essentially the most important feature is the fact there's double gas in the main and no gas at the natural, so that's just how things go. On this map, it plays out pretty well in terms of TVP. We'll probably see the Protoss players go up to a second base relatively quickly, taking the second base out the middle only, but we'll use the double gas to get a lot of tech units out fast, and we'll likely see, we'll probably, Goku, yeah. We'll probably see Goku do the same, and he'll go for some very quick upgrades, probably go for a big timing push off of 2 bases, but before we can find that out, let's get into the game. It's game number 1 between the Eternal Friends and Net Wars. It's Goku versus Yeti. Okay, starting us off in the top right hand corner, we have in the blue from Peru, fighting for EF, it's Goku. Oh, wrong screen. Oh my goodness. I keep doing this. You guys aren't supposed to see that. That's not what's supposed to happen. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh, this week has been a fun week for me when it comes to production. And yeah, the cheat sheet. Yeah, but like we'll cut that out. Like I don't have like one of those flash pens from Men in Black, but just imagine you've been flashed by that, so you've forgotten the last like minute. But yeah, starting us off in the top left or top right hand corner from Peru, it's going to be Goku, 4 Eternal Friends in the blue, and in the red, as our Protoss player in the bottom left hand corner, it is going to be Yeti. Now, one thing I think I forgot to mention because I don't think I actually introduced the players. Yeti is currently ranked 10 overall in the STPL. I'm kind of glad I didn't introduce the players because I forgot to update his photo again. But Yeti is currently sat at a 69% win rate. He's won 6 of his last 10 games. And things are looking pretty good for him. Goku has only won 1 of his, but he's only played 4 games. So yeah, in the photo of Yeti, Yeti's still actually Russian Yeti and not Polish Yeti. And he did actually send me a photo, so that's entirely my fault. I don't know, Lucky Noob clipped my shame. Now you know how my overlay works. My industry secret is out. Now everyone's gonna get sick overlays. It's gonna be awful. Now I'm gonna even have to put even more effort into Season 3. And I'm already like, I've got so many good things planned and I'm excited to actually do them. Because they don't involve much coding, which is, unlike when I was going into Season 2, I had to code a ton of stuff. Season 3 I don't, it's all graphics, it's great. Oh my god, it's going to be so good. Now, I'm not a graphical designer by trade, I'm an IT support engineer, and I'm also not a coder by trade either. So the fact I've managed to cobble all of this together, I'm quite proud of myself, and I've not had too many complaints. I had a couple of complaints in Season 1, but Season 2 people seem to like it a lot better. And hopefully in Season 3, I'm going to blow you guys all away. That's my plan. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but let's see if we can get like professional level production. Like, let's try and aim for production more than the esports 10 thing between KT and SKT. If I can do that, I will be happy. That's my goal. Make production that looks better than theirs, because their production looked incredible. Oh my god. One thing I've noticed, and this is just my opinion, like, my production at some points looks a bit tacky, and that's one thing I'm going to improve on. I'm going to make it look a little bit more professional. $15.79 minutes. Okay, I have a little bit of coding to do. I can't work out the I can't work out the conversion to go from minutes to seconds to minutes properly in Java. Jesse saying the tackiness is the best. Now, the tackiness of the in-between videos isn't going to change. That's still going to be super cringy because that's all I know how to make. But it's the like in-game overlay, the bits before. I'm also going to improve like the overlay loop as well, so I spend less time in between games and more time showing games. Which I suppose if it means we get a day of like mirrors, then that could be pretty quick, but I guess we'll see what happens. Lucky Noob saying it reminds him of Vice City. Now talking about the actual game, we've got 2 gateways coming in for Yeti. He's going for his Nexus as well. He built that on 30 supplies, so it's not a super quick expansion, but as I did mention before, it's not super important. We got a 2 factory play from Goku. Usually on any other map, this would be relatively all in, but because you have 2 gases in your main anyway, and there's a ton of minerals, it's not too much of a big deal. He's going to push what looks like with a very strong FD push on the back of this 2-fact. Interestingly, he's only going for a single tank, and he's going for a ton of vultures behind this. Now, it is only 1 machine shop, so he's got mines, but he's not going to have speed. And this is the kind of play that Yeti's actually really good at. Back in Season 1, in the semi-finals, not semi-finals, but Yeti played against Bjol, the guy who qualified into the ASL twice in a row. And, yeah, essentially, he held this off. Like, he held a 2-fact from Buell and later won the game 40 minutes later. So if he can do that against one of the top Korean amateurs of that time, he can definitely do it against Goku. But then again, Goku does have the power of his friend, or the power of friendship, and the protagonist energy, and he is in the clan Eternal Friends, so that's pretty OP. Now it looks like we are going to have the mines being laid at the ramp. This is to force the Dragoons back. If Yeti doesn't target fire, oh, using one of the Dragoons as oh, this could be bad. Some of the Marines get taken out. How did the Dragoon not die? There we go. Dragoon going down, but he does get the majority of the units. The very fact they got the tank early on as well made that so much better for Yeti. Now, of course, without an observatory, he's not really going to be able to push out unless he pulls off some Bisu level micro, and definitely not some Eon Zerg level PvT micro where he just walks into the mines. But that's a funny clip, by the way, if you've not seen that. Eon Zerg's a really funny streamer, you guys should check out his stream. But either way, nice target firing by Yeti so far. Not there, though. Oh my god, the probe's coming out at the perfect time, blocking the vultures from being able to get in. Nice target firing on the mine. Gonna ignore the vulture for now, it looks like, and gonna try and kill the marine. No, oh, okay, there we go. Another Dragoon goes down. Not perfect micro, but does hold on again. We've got Goku still on his 2 factories. He's not built an armory yet, but he is going to be expanding. This is, of course, a mineral only, so not going to matter too much in a TVP scenario, but still does allow you to get more factories, more vultures, so certainly not a problem. Now, where is Yeti's plan going from here? He's going into an observatory. Is he going to go straight into arbiters behind this? He's going to go for carriers. Carriers, I'd say, are definitely Yeti's strength. But on this map, carriers, I don't feel they're as strong as arbiters are. We've got Yeti going for a second gas. 4th gateway coming in. Goku going into his 3rd factory. Where is the armory? Starport coming up. No armory yet. This is going to cause Goku a massive problem a little bit later on, because the issue he's going to find is if you're behind in upgrades, all of a sudden those engagements you see Flash take where he has like 30 tanks and they just melt everything, they don't do nearly as much and they all die to Zealots. So upgrades super important in the TVP matchup. The CC is on the spot, but he knows he's got Yeti pinned back in his base with the mine, so he doesn't have to worry about that too much. But Yeti with an observer is going to be able to move out and sweep across the map now with the mines. Now the vultures getting ready to go for a counterattack. Is Yeti going to be prepared for this? He is going to take down me in the stasis cell. So I am going to have to mind meld over here with Rapid. But that's fine. It's all good. I'll just transfer my mind through the Kala to somewhere else. If it doesn't work and I suddenly stop casting, you know what's happened. Now, but yeah, the 5th gateway coming in, Citadel coming in as well, so it's likely going to be arbiter play. We have seen Yeti go Reaver Carrier before, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. He's already skipped Reavers, of course, so it's not going to be a problem. Now, Goku, does he finally have an armory? Yes, he does. He's actually going to go for, oh, I thought this was double armory, but it is only a single armory still. Oh, the Dragoon's getting a little bit close to the mines, but he's on attack move, so it doesn't matter. There we go. And yeah, Xbox saying he wonders if Goku needs Super Saiyajin to beat Yeti. I'm not too sure, but you never know. Maybe, well, he's already in God, SSJ, GSSJ, or whatever it is. No, SSJ. He's in, what's it called? A Super Saiyan Blue, I guess. I completely forgot it's Super Saiyan Blue. Although the official name is like Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, I think. Oh, we got the, wow, a vulture drop coming in at the main. This could do a ton of damage. There are vultures moving in, laying some mines in the natural, not getting too much damage done, but in the main, they are doing tons. He's almost evened up the worker count. This is the perfect situation for him to be in. He's going to get a scout on the fact there's a Citadel up here. He gets a couple of mines off on the units as well. Unfortunately not doing too much damage. Didn't bring the extra vultures in. At least he did, and they went down really fast. But vultures in the main still alive. Gets another couple of probes. Very, very nice harassment by Goku so far. Really using the power of instant transmission to get his units around the map. But look, did the dropship go down? I didn't see if the dropship survived. I think the dropship went down, which is a little bit unfortunate. Oh no, it's back here. Good old Goku with his dropships. This is Niaiba. All of the this is actually not Niaiba. Kintoun. It's Kintoun. Just carrying all those vultures. They're pure of heart. They're sitting on top of the dropship. But either way, 5 factories coming in here for Goku. Now the problem is these units are not nearly as strong here, as he doesn't have any upgrades. He's built the armory but not gone for +1 just yet. And the later this game goes, the more of an issue that's going to be, as I mentioned before. And now cannons in the main going to help against any further vulture drops. He's got 3 Nexuses now. Now unlike Michael in the previous game, Yeti, he is rebuilding his probes but not doing it as efficiently as maybe he wants to with building off of 3. But if you don't know, Yeti does suffer from wrist issues, so if you do notice his APM a little bit lower than what it'd normally be, it's because he's actually suffering with a wrist injury. So the fact he comes out and plays in the STPL every week is I'm very, very thankful for that, because he always leads to good games. But looks like we have got the drop coming in the main. It didn't do too much damage. The cannons did thwart it, but gonna just sack a Dragoon to kill that. He has not got time for waiting for the vulture to die. It's like, screw it, let's go. Thank you for the 5-bit cheer, Dan Alex. That is a really cool little emote, although kind of weird. Yeah, neither player has really got that Michael production on workers. Goku has stopped on around 43. He's not gone up in a very long time. Now, Starport is done. There's no science facility done yet, but he doesn't actually need it because +1 is so far away. Although saying that, he will have to worry about... Wait, what? Oh my god, he's going carriers. Okay. Screw everything I said. Where's the fleet beacon? Am I blind? Oh, it's here. The fleet beacon's over here. He's not forgotten the Interceptor upgrade, which is something I've seen a lot of Protoss players forget. But Yeti going into carriers again. This is his strong point, so seeing him go for this isn't that surprising. Now, I really hope we don't see a Zealot run into the mineral line. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I always have this horrible feeling. The third is mineral only. The gas third is down here, but when you're going carriers, as long as you're on 2 base gas, you essentially just need minerals for the interceptor production. Now, the tank's going to come in here behind the mineral line, getting a ton of kills already. 3 on those probes. Going to be able to kill the cannon as well, which makes the vultures a little bit stronger a little bit later on. Goku is the Peruvian flag. Usually the Peruvian flag has a little icon in it, but where I got the flags from, oh, that mine is not good for Goku. Now, the tanks back here should be able to trade pretty effectively. The dropship, did it go? It looks like he wanted to drop in the natural, but didn't get any drops down. Now the tank is going to go down, gets another Dragoon for his trouble though. 3 kills on this guy. This is definitely a hero tank. Now Yeti in a little bit of trouble, but of course the real timer is the carriers. Now, is there any upgrades coming in on the Cybernetics Core? Where is the Cybernetics Core? I feel like I'm really blind today. There it is. Wow. +1 coming up on the core most likely. It could be +2, but +1 would be a little bit more normal at this timing, I think. Although saying that, I didn't actually check the core before because I didn't know where it was. So we're doing a really good job casting today, guys. Now, +1 attack is still not finished, and that means this push coming out at 129 supply. He doesn't want to push now. He can't really afford to push now. But he should be on a lot higher supply. He's lost a lot of vultures throughout the game. He's not got his upgrades. Now, unfortunately, poor Nyoken, luckily enough, he made it to Korea because his stasis cell is about to go down over here. He's going to be mind melding with Doc over in the top left-hand corner. And Edgewater saying, who would win, Goku or Yeti? Sounds like something a 5th grader would say. That's kind of funny. Now, Yeti going for this island expansion. If you didn't know about this, both the players have an island base they can take in between the other mains. Obviously, taking another main is the best place you can get because you get 2 additional gases. But wait, has I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but has Goku ever met with the Yeti? I know he met with Frankenstein, Android 8, which was a really, really wholesome episode. By the way, Android 8 is the best Android. I don't care what anyone says. Original Dragon Ball is the best. But I don't think he's ever met with a Sasquatch or a Yeti, right? Did he fight a gorilla at some point? I'm trying to think. Android 16 just likes the birds, but Android 8 is the best one. Android 8 is literally the most wholesome character in Dragon Ball. And Lucky Noob's saying it's getting very nerdy now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factories up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gateways, but it is of course double Stargate carrier production. The island base is coming up. Yeti finally going up to around 60 supply in workers. Now this is a bold move, moving out with all of his ground units but no carriers. I'm not really sure I agree with this. He is going to push back, trying to clear up some of the mines, but Goku is in a pretty strong position now. He's secured his 4th base at the top middle, and the way this game is going, we could have a little bit of a longer game. Looks like we have got Goku maxing out pretty quickly. It's not as fast as you'd want to, but he's been playing very aggressively this game, so his max is going to be a lot slower. Goku's from Peru. Now the carriers, they are microing back, but the Goliath's getting some good hits off on them. Does need to be careful. It's only 4 carriers. Now a lot of Yeti's ground army did retreat. He does have a big supply advantage at the moment, so things aren't looking too bad for him, but does need to be careful. Now the carriers look like they want to come back in, needing to be careful though, making sure that he's not actually losing out here. Doesn't want to engage the Goliaths directly, so he's going to have to be careful. Unfortunately not going to get out of the leash range, so one of the carriers is going to go down. This is a massive misstep here for Yeti. He needs to pull his carriers back, misclick, but no, the carrier survives. Oh my goodness, how is that carrier in the red alive? I have no idea. The Goliath count isn't that high. The problem, as I mentioned before, is these upgrades. There's 2 attack on the interceptors and there is no armor upgrades here for Goku. This is a massive problem now. The Dragoon army, the Gateway army of Yeti, obviously not going to be a big problem. But look at this, there's only 2 Goliaths left, 3 more come in. But look how many carriers there are, there's 6 of them. How do you deal with this with just 6 Goliaths? And wait, the Goliaths, yeah, they do have range. They have range. Now, the carriers coming up here. Yeti doing a really good job. One of the carriers does go down though, so that's a little bit of a win for Goku here. We could call that his Kamehameha as he breaks one of the carriers, but all the tanks are going to go down. Goku down on 91 supply, dropping even further. Yes, he's on 4 base, but he's only on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways at the moment. He's trying to add up to 8, but is he going to be able to remax quick enough on Goliath to be able to kill these carriers? I don't think so. Upgrades, in terms of upgrades, +3 attack is almost done, or halfway done on the air. An additional 2 carriers coming in, and things are starting to get a little bit rough. Albert saying he's glad I talked about Android 8. It brought him a lot of nostalgia. That's kind of cool. Android 8 was the first Android they ever put in, and he's really, really kind. Although I think my favorite part of Dragon Ball, the original, is I think his name is Namu. He's like the Indian guy, and it keeps showing the same shot of his village that essentially has lost its water. And throughout the Tournament of Power, throughout the martial arts tournament, the first one, they show the same shot of the village in the anime about 20 times. Okay, now we're up to 7 carriers now. The Gateway Force of Yeti does have +2 attack, but it's not all that good. We've actually got SCVs transferring down to the bottom right by order of dropship. Good night, Pefo. Thanks again for the donation, man, and thanks for the sub. Just so it's your subbed as well. But the I can't tell what died. I think it was... I didn't actually notice, but the factories are going to come under fire now. We've got a lot of units out in the middle of the map. Yeti is starting to move up to the top left, but if Goku cannot... If he can't save his factories, he has zero chance in this game. He's down 100 supply. Oh, Yeti running into the mines! Oh, even though there's an observer there, the Dragoons didn't care. They kept on running. They had business to attend to, but unfortunately that business was death. But the carriers are the real story here. There's pretty much nothing that Goku can do about them. Yeti has done an incredible job, only losing a single carrier all game. And Shad is saying he's got 3k in the bank waiting to be able to cheer for Ash. You can't cheer for Ash unless they're playing, man. Come on. That's... Well, you can, but... cheer for the teams that are here, man. I mean, the Dragoons going down in the middle to factory units, but it doesn't matter. GG, Goku taps out. And Piccolo wins game number 1. Or Yeti, I guess. So, that was of course game number 1 of that series. We've got 2 more games coming up. Hopefully, they're going to be as epic as that one. There was a ton of harassment coming in from our Terran player, but unfortunately, much like the mistake I made, while he was harassing, he forgot to get his upgrades. And when you don't get your upgrades quick enough, that leads to some very difficult situations. Now, let's have a look at a quick break, and when we get back, I'll be here for game number 2. It's going to be a ZVZ, so it could be a fast one. See you guys soon. Toss a coin to your content creators, oh Valley of Plenty, oh Valley of Plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your content creators, a friend of humanity. Okay guys, welcome back. We're going to be heading into game number 2 of this series. It is going to be a ZVZ and it's going to be on Neo Outlier. Now it's a bit of a shame because Neo Outlier is one of my favourite games, or my favourite maps in Season 2. And it feels like we're not getting to see much of it today. We got a walkover in Series 1 and in Series 2 we're getting a ZVZ. So I mean, maybe a miracle happens and we get a Hive ZVZ. I'm not too sure. Honestly, I would hope that we one day get a Hive ZVZ in STPL, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to have to be honest. ZVZ on this map, we've actually had quite a few of them, 8 of them in fact. With Eon Zerg, more recently, we beat 2 players here, so that's kind of cool. Let's have a look at our players. Starting us off for EF is going to be the really cool Zerg streamer Chaylin. Chaylin's quite popular on Twitch. She does a lot of streaming as well. I definitely recommend checking out her stream. Her English is pretty good as well, so she can definitely communicate with you. I think her written is better than her spoken, but I'm not too sure. She usually streams when I'm at work, so I don't get a chance to see it, but definitely check out her stream if she's around. She's got a 58% win rate overall. She's won 6 of her last 10 games, and she's actually won more ZVZs than she's lost, so that's always a good sign. Now, her opponent fighting for Net Wars is going to be the one, the only Mr. Bombastic himself. It's Mr. Zero. Mr. Zero got a 58% win rate himself as well. He's actually 4-1 over Zerg right now, and he is 6 wins in the last 10 games, so honestly, these two players pretty evenly matched, at least as far as statistics goes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them both play, actually. Now, it is a very nice novelty to actually get to see Zero play, because essentially where Zero streams BSL so much and he does such a good job organizing it, he doesn't get as much time to do ladder streams anymore, especially since he's got married and he actually has a life outside of Brood War. So it's good to see him play in the STPL. He plays a lot for Net Wars, and honestly, his games are always interesting. Even if he loses, he always puts up a good fight. Now, ZVZ, usually his games have been pretty quick, so we'll have to see how that goes. As we get into game number 2, it's Chaylin versus Zero, and it's going to be here on Neo Outlier. Okay, starting us off here in the 12 o'clock location, we do have the Blue Zerg fighting for Net Wars. It's Zero from Poland. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have Chaylin from South Korea fighting for Eternal Friends in the red. Now, I see there's a lot of questions in the chat of when is this going to be casted, when is that going to be casted. Check Team Liquid, check the STPL TV Twitter after the stream. I'm going to decide that probably tonight. If not, I'll decide it all tomorrow. I'll put the full schedule up on Team Liquid and Twitter, as I always do. Although sometimes on Team Liquid and Twitter I am a little bit late. But I'm definitely going to figure it out over the weekend, and I'll let you know. Now, both these players are incredibly good in ZVZ. Both of them going to scout in the correct directions. And I do need a website, but unfortunately website coding is something I cannot do. So I don't do that. That's not, well, I'm not gonna lie, I made a GeoCities page back in the early 2000s, and I can't even remember what I put on it anymore, but yeah, we don't talk about that website anymore. I can't even remember it. I learned really basic HTML back then, but now we had a gas first into a pool, I think, for Chaylin. Yeah, the gas definitely came in first there. We've got Zero going for a 12 pool into a 12 gas as well. So Zero economically is doing a little bit better, but this is shaping up to be a very aggressive first game. And no way is Zero going to expand here. Oh my goodness, he's going to expand on 11 supply as well. That's going to be a big problem. Chaylin already has speed coming in. The gas was so fast. 8 lings are going to be on their way already. And Mr. Zero could be up for a very quick loss here if he's not careful. He only has 1 lava for Zerglings at the moment. The second one has just spawned. Now, of course, there is a defender's advantage in CVZ as well as all the other matchups. But 6 lings against 8. I mean, that's basic arithmetic, which I know we don't do on stream, but I'm fairly certain 8 is more than 6. So let's see if Chaylin can get in. Now, the one good thing about the hatchery is it does work as a little bit of a distraction. Now, whether Chaylin goes for that is another story. Yes, she's going to. She's going to try and take this down, because if she doesn't, she's actually going to be behind. Zero is up a single drone, but he has had to bring a drone up here to help out. Now, another 2 lings coming in, but Zero doing a really good job. Oh, the drone getting caught off. That's a little bit unfortunate. But Zero's done a pretty good job defending this so far. There is another couple of links coming in. Looks like Shaylin going to get behind Zero's hatchery to try and get better engagement. But Zero's doing okay. This is actually pretty cool. So let's have a look, see how this goes. Zero trying to get in a position, not cancelling his hatchery. So this is pretty much an all-in defense here. He has to hold this hatchery, or he's gonna be so far behind now. Shaylin, she is doing a wonderful job here with the links, picking off the links from Zero one by one. And it looks like this could be just 4 Zerglings coming out this hatchery before it goes down. And that is not a position you want to be in as Zero. He was betting a lot on this hatchery being able to come up and being able to do something with it. Now, another couple of drones pulling out as well. This means he's even further behind. And this could be a very, very quick ZVZ here. Wow, did that drone die in one hit? Oh my goodness. Now, another 2 links coming out. They are going to go down. Shaylin, back at home. Lair is already done. Spire is on the way. GG. Zero taps out. And Shaylin wins game number 2. Now, when I said it was going to be fast, I said it was going to be fast. And that was a 4-minute game. It's not often that you get a 4-minute game. But there we go. That's how things go sometimes. It can't be helped. It is a ZVZ, the fastest match in Brood War. Without a doubt. I always wonder, well, I know, but I always find it funny how back in the day when they used to have ZVZ finals, like the one calm one, they would essentially just fill like crazy. Like in between games, there'd be like 30-minute breaks because the games would end in like 5 minutes every single time. So that's going to take us into game number 3. I'm probably not going to bother taking us to a break because we did just have one. But let's actually add the win for Mrs. Shaylin here, and it said Mr. Zero. But Mr. Zero did lose that game. Maybe in my mind's eye I wanted him to win, but really well played game by Shaylin. Took a little bit of a risk going for super fast. What am I saying? You know what? Let's just introduce our next couple of players because I'm losing my mind over here. It should be cool. This is going to be a TBT, so it's kind of like the polar opposite of ZVZ. Let's have a look at our first player. It's going to be the one, the only, the Polish powerhouse himself, the highest ranked non-Korean in the STPL at rank number 3. It is Kogut. He's won 9 of his last 10 games. He's got an 81% win rate overall. And the polar opposite, Albert. And he's 9 wins, 1 loss against Terran. Now, I'm not saying that that's ridiculous, but that's pretty ridiculous, right? 9 wins, 1 loss against a race. Like, how do you do that? Kogut's so good. Unfortunately, Kogut struggled a little bit against Terra at the Corrupted Cup, but against pretty much every other Terran, he does so well. So, let's see how he's going to do against his opponent here for Eternal Friends. It's going to be Pinkbrush. Now, Pinkbrush, little bit lower rank compared to Terra. I mean, he's 131 ranks lower, but that's just the way things go sometimes, unfortunately. But 33% win rate for him. 1 win, 3 losses against Terran. So I definitely think statistically Kogut has a shot here. Let's have a look at our map quickly. It's going to be New Tornado. Now, in terms of TBT, I think this is a map that's had more TBTs than any other map in the entire STPL ecosystem, which is crazy. So 9 TBTs here already. We've had some amazing games. We've had some really weird games as well, like Jaehyuk versus Bishop the other day, or yesterday even. But I think Kogut's going to do pretty well here. The last game Kogut actually played on this map was against Marwin, which he won. And I mean, Marwin is a really strong Swedish-Ukrainian Terran player. So looking forward to getting into game number 3. And as I say that, I'm loading up the replay. So let's get into game number 3 and let's get going with Kogut versus Pinkbrush. Now, starting us off here in the top left-hand corner in the... I think this is the teal, kind of like the malachite green. It's going to be Kogut fighting for Net Wars. And his opponent spawning down here in the olive green again. We do have Pinkbrush fighting for EF. Now this once again is going to be a Poland versus South Korea matchup. And I've got the colors around the wrong way, so let's just fix that. But yeah, Poland versus South Korea. There's pretty much like, in terms of STPL games, this is a pretty iconic matchup. We've had a lot of upsets between Polish players and Korean players, and Pinkbrush isn't one of the highest level Koreans, so I definitely think Koget has an edge in this game just from spawning. Obviously, it's hard to say that against a player. Pinkbrush still has definitely a chance. It is a best of one format. Anyone can win in a best of one. But I definitely give the edge to Koget in this game. Now, let's see how well he plays out. Looks like both players, neither of them, going to play super aggressive. Koget is going to build his barracks in the middle of the map. You may think, well, he's proxying a barracks. He's proxying a barracks. That's aggressive. That's cheese. He's cheesing him. No, he's not. It's TBT. In TBT, if you build your barracks in the middle of the map, it doesn't matter. Realistically, where you build your barracks is kind of inconsequential unless your opponent is 8-raxing you. Now, there is a really hilarious clip of me being killed by Terra where I proxy my racks in the middle and I get 8-raxed. So, I get PBS'd actually. So, if you're up against an opponent who's proxy raxing you, it can be a little bit funny. One of my funniest TBT memories, I can't remember who was playing the game, but it was early on in the days of Fighting Spirit in like 2009 when it came out. We had two Terrans proxy racks in the middle, and because they both proxy racks, they both had to kind of quit their building and then just try and kill each other, because it's essentially like they couldn't just both sit there building because one of them was bound to attack, right? So both of them they didn't cancel the barracks entirely, but they stopped building it and they just had like this SCV face off in the middle. If anyone can find that game for me, it was very early on in the lifespan of Fighting Spirit. Link me on Twitter. I'd like to see it again because that was a really funny game. I remember seeing that game live. Not live in person, unfortunately. I missed like the height of Pro League, so I'm a little bit disappointed. Now I'm finally old enough to actually like afford to go to South Korea. I can't go when like there's a big Pro League match going on, which is kind of sad. Hopefully, Moo Pro League will come back at some point. I think Brittany was having a few problems with sponsors, but that's definitely been like my most hyped up event for a very long time. Moo Pro League was my favorite Brood War event last year and the year before. Oh my god, Koget is gonna block the command center with an engineering bay. Who does this in team? Oh, oh my god, he's done it with a depot as well. Good luck expanding. See ya. Wait, is the command center really gonna land next to it and just mine? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so pimp. And look how long it takes for Marines to kill buildings. It's so funny. He is gonna kill both of them. Koget obviously did delay his own expansion to do that. He's only on one base right now still, but that was worth it. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed watching that. Really pointless, it doesn't really do too much, but it's kind of a flex move. You know when you're like, okay, I mean this isn't gonna change the outcome of this game whatsoever. I'm just gonna flex on you real good. Like, just give me a second. Give me a second. Castle saying kicks IRL Korea stream. Well, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be going to Korea anytime soon, because even though I said I can afford it, it doesn't mean I can actually afford it right now. I should be able to afford it, but like, I'm an IT support engineer. My salary's not massive. I don't have anyone to look after my cat when I go, so, and if anything, Lottie more than Brood War. I'm a little bit. I'm not ashamed to admit that actually. I care about my cat more than I care about Brood War, and I know there's probably some people in chat right now, they're seething. They're like, oh my god, this guy, he's got no passion. He'd pick his cat over Brood War. What the hell is this? I'm tuning out. And Fake Fin, I'm joking. I'm joking, man. Don't take it seriously. That's my poor example of British sarcasm, but... yeah, it's kind of funny. I can't actually see Lottie when I'm casting. because my green screen's behind me. But yeah, I know she's laying there. She's asleep right now. She was going crazy earlier. It's kind of funny. Like, I know there's not much going on in this game right now. Koga pushing forward into the middle of the map, looking to take a position up here. If he does that, it's going to be really powerful. Now, is this mines? Yeah, looks like he got mines first. So, mines going to be coming in. Tank, unfortunately, going the wrong way. But there's only a single tank here for Pinkbrush. Legit car saying, I'm actually shooting out F-Cat sprays Brood War by. Yeah, what I was going to say was, I've got like some old boxes from when I moved in, which was like in April, that I need to take to the dump, but I don't have a car, so I'm waiting for someone to do it. And it creates like a little bit of an echo chamber next to one of my radiators. And Lottie will like stick her head between it to meow. And because it created an echo chamber, it essentially like it's essentially makes it like a megaphone, so her meow gets like 10 times louder. It's so funny. And Shad is saying, who's that Korean? This is Pinkbrush. He is an amateur Korean who plays for EF. He's not like pro amateur level or anything. He's just a Korean who plays the game now. Koga going for a drop into the main. Gonna put mines on top of the ramp. This is just very, very unfortunate for Pinkbrush. I mean, everything that could go wrong is pretty much going wrong for here. Lucky Noob's saying cats are like cracklings, but with probe souls. The vultures in the main doing a ton of damage. Koga definitely in a good position in this game. A Wraith gonna help clean this up, but not without taking significant losses. And the fact the command center was flying for so long early in the game means Koga, despite the fact in spite of the fact his command center was so late, he's actually ahead in workers by quite a way, and now he's going to be the one switching into Wraiths as well. And now the important thing to note is Koga is going for Cloak, whereas Pinkbrush I don't think is. I don't think he got Cloak at least. Now, Cloak against non-Cloak is, it's pretty interesting. Now, oh, Cloak done for both players, but Koga with the scan does. Oh, he does have scans himself. Why is he not just fighting this? Oh my goodness, he's going to lose one of his Wraiths. That was actually really unfortunate. Koga did a brilliant job there, though. Oh, the mines. Oh, that was only a Marine. Okay, that's not too bad. Now, Pinkbrush, unfortunately, not decloaking his Wraith as soon as he left the bait. Oh, these mines could be problematic as well. I mean, not too much is happening in the game. Koga's trying to push forward. He's going to try and get a position in the middle of the map. In the middle of the map. I don't even know what the accent for that is, but Pinkbrush getting a better end of the tank engagement for now. The Wraith coming in, getting a win over Koga's Wraith, which is something. But there is 3 Goliaths here. They're going to be able to clean up the Wraith. Now, neither player looks like they want to siege just yet. Looks like Koga going to siege a little bit further back. Now, the interesting thing about this siege location is it's not really defending anything. So, a little bit awkward. Looks like Pinkbrush has actually been working super hard on his tank macro here. He's got tons of them, so he's going to push forward in the middle of the map. Is siege mode done? Yes, it is. So he's got siege mode. He's just going into vulture upgrades. 4 factories against 5. So Koga definitely going to have the supply advantage. +1 attack is almost done now. The tanks of Pinkbrush going to move forward. Oh my goodness, that tank shot. 3 tanks in 1. 4 tanks go down from Pinkbrush. And another Wraith is going to go down as well, getting rallied into the wrong location, wrong time. Now Pinkbrush, as Shad points out, is caught up in SCVs. This is because Koga stopped building SCVs for a while. That was intended. He wanted to build his extra factories. He wanted to get his upgrades going. Now with +1 upgrade finishing, and no armory done by Pinkbrush, Koga is extending his league tenfold. They're both going to expand to the 3rd base at relatively similar times. But Koga's way ahead right now. Now, Pinkbrush is trying to secure his position in the middle of the map. Now, if we zoom out, we'll see that if Pinkbrush holds here, he actually holds his third base. So this is a really important position to take. Whereas Kogut moving out here, he's not actually gaining anything from being here. And oh my goodness, misstep there, losing a couple of tanks for free. Now, Kogut, if he was defending this area, he'd defend this base, and he'd defend this base. Now, that would be a good move. But where he is right now isn't achieving anything, so... Okay, it looks like he is going to be able to get some vultures around the top. Going to block the third command center coming up from Pinkbrush. So that's always pretty good. I'm actually really starting to like this olive green, by the way. I didn't like it at first, but it really does look vibrant. It looks nice. Now, Kogut has built so many mines up on this high ground that it's going to be very difficult for anything. Now, scanning there for the mines was actually a mistake. He needed to target fire down the vultures and then kill the mines. So, a little bit unfortunate that Kogut is going to be able to get taken out finally from here. The middle of the map is slowly splitting. I think maybe Kogut is looking to try and expand over here. I suppose Kogut does secure his third base with here, but I don't know. I'm not too sure. Both players just kind of macroing up right now, looking to secure more places on the map. Kogut got his science fully, not going to build a physics lab or anything this early, but is going to go for a fourth base up here, going to go for a fifth base down the bottom as well. And this is because in TVT, you get to a point where you're building so many tanks at once, you don't really need vultures anymore, that you start essentially just... you start banking a lot of minerals, so what you do is you just spam command centers everywhere, try and secure the whole map, and try and win by just out-macroing your opponent. Now, +1 attack is finally almost done here for Pinkbrush, but we've got Kogut with +2 over halfway done. Second armory coming in as well. This is likely going to be for ship weapons, and he'll start going to ship armor as well. Armor in a TVT, not super important. It is in Vulture versus Vulture in the super late game and the super early game, but... Oh, Pinkbrush getting a little bit caught off guard here. He really should just drop some of the Goliaths. Oh, no, he's going to lose 2 tanks. No! Losing 2 tanks. They're definitely not what you want happening. Oh, Kogut is doing such a good job with all of his units. He knows exactly where to have his units to intercept everything. His scans have been immaculate. I know I've not been showing them, but I've been seeing them pop up on the minimap as well. And losing that dropship's pretty big. He's going to be able to fly into the main now, at least go into this 4th base. But it's only 2 dropship worth of units. It's 2 tanks and 4 Goliaths. Saying that, Kogut doesn't have that many units back here that he can defend with. If he sieges here, if he gets his Goliaths just on this high ground, it's going to be really difficult. Yeah, Kogut just cancels it. He's like, okay, have that base. I don't care. Oh, this is good. I love this. He sends an SCV up here. He's going to expand up here. This is exactly what you want to do in TVT. You know, he's going to build some turrets first. But if you secure this location and you just expand, your opponent's going to have to take it out. And TVT is the best for this. Now, unfortunately, because there's only 2 dropships worth of units, he's not going to be able to secure this. Great push in by Kogut. Did he even lose a single tank there? I don't think he did. Kogut is so good in TVT, man. Really showing why he's 9 for 1 against Terran. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the initial overlays and everything, Kogut's current top streak and the current all-time streak against Terran is 7 for 0. And the way this game's going, Kogut's looking like he wants to make that 8. It's crazy, man. Kogut is so good in TVT. Now Kogut with a little bit of a mismove there, losing a tank, not the biggest deal. It's +2 attack against +1. If you're not sure how TVT works, a tank with +2 will 2-shot a tank with will 2-shot a tank instead of 3-shot. That's a massive breakpoint in TVT. Armor does not come into it whatsoever. And Chad, if you're talking about the Reaver cosplay, you cannot buy it. Someone made that themselves. Now 3 tanks at a time coming in here from Pinkbrush. Pinkbrush relying a lot on vultures to try and break through. He wants to try and stop Kogut from expanding to the bottom left-hand position, but realistically he should be looking to try and expand to the top right instead. Because the way this is going, Koga is getting too many bases, he's getting too many units, and he's actually just winning the game. So Koga, such good micro in TVT, such good target firing, such good tank spreading as well, making sure that no tank is going to be hitting 2 tanks. And Koga is completely destroying in this game. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever because he is such a strong Terran player from Poland. But there's a reason why I call him the Polish powerhouse, and this game is just confirming everything essentially. Now, Koga going to get a position on this high ground wedge. The benefit of getting this wedge is you control the unit flow out of your opponent's natural. And if you can do that, you block your opponent from going to the top right without dropships. And if that happens, you're not going to have any problem. Now, the dropships never actually managed to go back out on the middle of the map. I don't think they got anything done. Yeah, he's just sat them idle. Looks like he wants to try and... Oh, he's going to... Okay, he's going to SCV drop, which is pretty good. Going for an SCV bomb on these tank lines is very strong. I mean, Koga has so many tanks, he has so many units, even if he friendly fires, why does it matter? Look at Koga's spread here, he's coming in from such a wide angle. He's attacking immediately into +1 attacks and +1 attack tanks, and it doesn't even matter. He's destroying his way through, powering his way through, and Pinkbrush's supply is plummeting. If Koga holds this position now, he's going to block his opponent ever expanding again, and he is going to win by checkmate. Koga's positioning, his army movement, his defense, his expanding, all of it has been impeccable this game. Pinkbrush has done his best, but he has essentially been up against a brick wall here, as the wall of Koga's units unable to do too much. Oh, nice target fire on the mine, at least saves those 2 tanks, but let's check the factory count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factories building tanks for Koga. There's only 3 coming out of time for Pinkbrush. And every engagement that Pinkbrush loses, the further and further he's getting behind. Koga is now up to 5 bases. Should go into a 6th and 7th soon if he wants to, but he doesn't even need them. Pinkbrush trying to move forward with some vultures to clear up at least some of the tanks, but it's not enough. Koga still holding strong. There is a couple of dropships here still. Realistically, the only option that Pinkbrush has is to go mass dropships, drop on this high ground, secure the natural, secure the main, and do his best. Now, the Vulture's going to try and come in and do some damage with mines. Does get a mine off, but doesn't kill any of the tanks. Now, ship weapons coming in, along with +3 weapons. No science facility, physics lab yet, but that's where Koga's going ultimately into battle cruisers. Xbox seeing the 20-minute curse. Now Koga's starting to fortify this position with mines. He just needs, with turrets even. He just needs to hold on here, then he can expand up to the 12 o'clock base, or the 1 o'clock base, expand to the 12. If he expands down here as well, I mean, he's getting the gases immediately. And I mean, the onus is on Pinkbrush to make something happen. And unfortunately, I just don't think he has any way of making anything happen. Now, Koga is slowly moving forward, moving a little bit too far forward there, just in range of his opponent's tanks. But without vision, he's unable to fire, using his barracks perfectly here to basically shade his way forward. The dropship's going to help a little bit. There is a few Goliaths that should be able to push this away. Now, Wraith kind of patrolling around here, just seeing what's going on. A base is coming up down in the bottom right, so he is going to be able to get some units over. But look at Koga, he's sending 1 million units down here, and he's going to deny the base. The main base is pretty close to mined out, not too many minerals there. The natural, as it is a supernatural, as I've mentioned before, it's still got a load of minerals there, but the third base is mining out already. The gases are starting to deplete for Pinkbrush, and Koga is doing a stellar job. We've hit the 20-minute mark. If the 20-minute curse that apparently is the thing comes in, Koga breaks his way up the ramp. He's going to be dropping SCVs on top of this. He was going to try and expand, but he's not going to be given the chance. Looks like Pinkbrush going to make one last desperation move to move out to the map to secure a way through, to trap some of Koga's units down there, but the tanks coming in, they are getting completely destroyed by the +3 attack tanks. And that's going to be all she wrote. It's pretty much checkmate. It's 194 supply against 110. And Koga just has 1 million tanks. I mean, realistically, there's absolutely nothing Pinkbrush can do. He loses his command center. Koga expanding to the 12 o'clock location as well. And just really adding insult to injury, adding on a load of wraiths. I mean, I don't even think the wraiths are going to see play. Koga coming in here, a fantastic angle for him. There is going to be dropships trying to unload. But he's going to give up this position outside of his natural, which means no more units are going to be leaving the base. Now, Pinkbrush is going to try and drop down to the bottom left. If he drops the units, he'll be fine, but he's flying into a turret. Oh, the units go down, or two of them, one of them does. And it's a tank. And a tank is what he needs realistically, because he isn't holding this high ground any other way. Yes, he's going to knock out one of the bases of Koga. But for how long? Koga has a million other bases. He has a massive bank right now. He has a million tanks right now. And I mean, the race coming in as well. Just clearing up some of the glass. And I just kicked my desk and that really hurt. Ow. Why did I say anything? I could have just held that in, but... Oh well, we got tanks trying to siege up on the high ground, but with +3 attack, there's just too much here from Koga. Pinkbrush, realistically, he's trying to push forward again, but he's down in supply. We've got Koga sending vultures into the third base of Pinkbrush. They're killing the only tank here. They're going to kill the units down here in the bottom left-hand base. The SCVs all did go down, I think, but Koga's still up by over 8 or by 18. I think things are definitely looking good for Koga in this game. He's played this pretty wonderfully. Koga going to expand to the top right, as I mentioned before. Pinkbrush slowly starting to mine out of everything. He's slowly running out of units even. And now the tanks are actually getting in a position where they can siege some of the factories down as well. And, I mean, Koga, I keep saying it, but he really has done a fantastic job this game. It's really difficult to make TBT go this well, and he's done it. I mean, Pinkbrush, he's trying to stay in, he's trying to hold on, but there's only so much you can hold on to. Like, this is the time when I would leave the game, and I leave the game way too late. Pinkbrush going to lose all of his SCVs mining and pretty much his only mining base right now. He's going to try and break through, but the position on the high ground too strong. Tanks absolutely everywhere. Koga getting a surround essentially on his opponent. And this is great. Now, Ziggy saying like Fantasy, but honestly, Fantasy wouldn't be in this position, so he was a TBT god. Looks like the command center is going to go down at the third base, and all that we're waiting for is for Pinkbrush to say GG. Koga even pushing in now. He doesn't need to worry about anything. He's on 1 million factories. He's on 1 million bases. And he's going to look to put the checkmate into position. It's 26 supply for Pinkbrush. Did Pinkbrush leave at some point and Koga has just been playing the game? I feel like I'm missing something here. Ziggy saying he used to hold Fancy in high regard, but he left us for League. Well, that is true. But maybe he'll come back when League dies. League will eventually die. Unlike Brood War, League isn't a timeless game. It's going to get patched into obscurity eventually. I can see it. Riot's eventually going to run out of money, and Brood War will still be there. And then when Fancy comes back, he'll be a god again. We'll be in like the year 2050. Fancy will be in his 60s playing, but he'll still be good. 16 supply Pinkbrush. He's just trying to trade away his final units. He doesn't want to give up. But realistically, he needs to get out of the game. I think maybe he's salty about the way this game went. Maybe he's just processing his loss as well. Like, a lot of people think that when people stay in the game, they're doing it out of spite. Sometimes you feel really bad about the loss and you just want to give yourself time before you move on to the next game. It's not bad manner to stay in. Good game. GG. Koga wins, and he's going to win the series for Net Wars 3-1. I honestly, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just because I stay in the game way too long, but it feels to me like that isn't unsportsman. If he said like some bad-mannered stuff at the end and he floated his last buildings, that's bad-mannered, but when you take a punishing loss like that, it makes it difficult. And it is 3-1 for Net Wars because essentially the final game was a walkover in favor of Bingzil. Blaze forfeited his match for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know the full story behind that. But that is going to be a 3-1 win for Net Wars. pretty crazy. We've had a really quick day today, but those were the only walkovers this week. I hope. I pray. And just checking. Soul. Okay, let's have a look before we go into the... you know what? Let's do the results first, because that makes the most sense. Have a look here. Net Wars winning. Okay, I added the wrong win. Luckily enough, I didn't add the match win yet. That's good. Let's quickly fix it. So I'll reset it. Then you'll get to see the cool stuff here. So why didn't that reset? Oh, it's because I need to generate again. Here we go. Watch this, guys. So I can go Yeti 1, Shaylin 1, Kogut 1, Vingsel 1. All done. Look at that. Power of technology. Don't even have to do anything. Just have to press a button. You get to see the background of what I do. And let's have the win for Net Wars, of course, as well. Now, the final game was a walkover, unfortunately. But that's the way it is. In Brood War tournaments, sometimes it happens at BS. Well, it happens less often in BSL because it's played live. And obviously, it's a little bit more obvious when people don't show up. But it happens in Choba League, happens in Gosu League, happens in BWCL. Getting everyone to turn up for every single game when you're waiting. Like, essentially, in a team league, other than waiting for 4 people, you've got to wait for 8 people to show up. So that's it's kind of unfortunate, but it is a walkover. It's the final walkover of the week, as far as I'm aware. Net Wars winning 3-1, definitely going to benefit them heading into the final sets of playoffs and everything. One thing I want to do, and one thing I'm going to do, is chuck it back to the camera. Then we're going to have a look at the rankings, because obviously that's going to mix things up a little bit. So that's kind of cool. Then we'll maybe have a look at what series are next. Well, where am I? I'm getting confused because Fujikoto is sending me something on Discord about their games. But let's have a look at the team rankings once again. We'll have a look at the player rankings as well, because Kogut may have moved up. Now, Net Wars are going to move up. Naz are going to move up as well. Naz move up by the benefit of Eternal Friends falling down. So they didn't... Wait. No, Naz did play today, didn't they? And they won. So Naz and Net Wars move into the top 8. They weren't in there before. Eternal Friends and Ash drop down. Eternal Friends just hold on to their 8th position spot. Ash very close behind them in 9th, but Ash still have their game to play. If Ash win, the way the maths works on this, Ash will move into 8th position. Clan Revolution have a chance to move up as well, and so do Bull Team. And this, the crazy thing is, we have got so many teams so close together. We've effectively got 8 teams fighting for 4 spots. Like, how crazy is that? That is the most nail-biting season you could possibly ask for as we head into the final two weeks. Now, one thing I'd like to point out, and the unlucky thing for Red, is Red's final 2 series are against White Clan and Seoul. So Red may have a little bit of trouble, but if they can pull off a win, if they can pull off an upset, which has happened in the STPL before, they'll be able to hold on to their playoff spot. But essentially, they need to make sure that they're careful. Now, still to play this week, we have Soul Gaming versus Valhalla team. We've got White Clan versus Red. We've got IRK versus... You know what, let's actually look at the replay folder. That's probably going to be easier. Yeah, Shad, next week's game is going to be super important for Ash, and so is this week's, but obviously this week's have been played. But still to be played, we have Ash versus DM, Bull versus IRK, Net Wars, wait, no, we've already done that, Soul versus Valhalla team, we've got White versus Red, and White versus Red, and Nice versus Rev. Kind of crazy. There's some really good matchups coming. I'll probably do VT versus Soul on Monday, along with Ash versus DM. And we may do Bull versus IRK and Nice versus Rev on Wednesday. But we'll figure that out over the weekend. But there's definitely a lot of players and a lot of teams that could still make it into the playoffs. Now, that is, of course, going to be the end of the STPL for today. But it's not the end of the STPL overall. So do tune in next time. Thank you so much for all the support. Obviously, huge thanks to the patrons. Huge thank you to the subscribers. Massive thanks to the people that have donated on Matcherino. Massive thanks to the people that have used the code on Matcherino as well. And massive thank you to all of you guys who have tuned in. It's been great fun being able to bring you these games. I know there's been some walkovers today, but hopefully it's not been too much of a problem. I am just going to find someone to host while throwing up the final screen. So have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you guys on Monday night. Do go somewhere for now, but come back then, 2100 CET, right here, right then. Guys, hit that raid button in the top left. We're gonna go raid Terra stream. He's a really good Terran player, of course, and of course he is very highly ranked in the STPL, so really cool player to watch. Terra's actually not in the top 10 right now, but he's close. I'm sure he is.